this morning, we are tracking 4 wildfires in Los Angeles County. We've been talking about them all morning long. So tens of thousands of people under evacuation orders for the Palisades, Eaton, Hurst, and Woodley fires. And we are just learning from the Angeles National Forest that the Eaton fire has exploded to over 10,000 acres. Firefighters are anticipating another tough day trying to get those fires under control. Live look here in the Los Angeles area at the fire right now. So what we do know is that at least 28,000 structures are in danger of burning down, and firefighters will have to battle strong winds as they try and contain those flames. So with that, we want to get over to ABC's Alex Stone joining us live this morning from Pasadena, where the Eaton fire is burning today. So Alex, tell us more about what you've been seeing so far today.
Yeah, Jordan, so this fire really is exploding today, and looking at the firefighters behind me, they have been working on this home right here trying to save it. There are a number of homes down these streets that are now gone as they continue to try to battle the flames. They're taking advantage of a little bit of a lull in the wind. Earlier today, this area was getting hit by 100-mile-per-hour winds. Now they're trying to battle back the flames. Hurricane-force winds fueling wildfires in Southern California, burning the equivalent of 5 football fields every minute. California now under a state of emergency as firefighters battle the flames around Los Angeles. The fire's so intense you can hear the howling winds and crackling embers. You can see the embers flying right at the camera, the wind allowing the embers to jump from structure to structure, igniting anything and everything it can. Over 50,000 people are under mandatory evacuation orders, but it's been difficult getting to safety. On Sunset Boulevard, drivers abandoned their cars after getting stuck in traffic, trying to get out of the fire zone.
When we got in the car to go, and then all the cars were abandoned, so I had nowhere to go, so I just had to get out of my car and start walking. The smoke is so bad.
That also made it so firefighters could not get in. They used a bulldozer to move abandoned cars. ABC's Matt Gutman was there.
And all of these cars, including us at one point, were stuck in this gridlock. And in order for firefighters to actually get to the fires, they had to carve a path.
The flames reaching an assisted living center in the hills above Pasadena. Workers rushing to get people out of the building using wheelchairs and rolling beds.
I was running up to the 3rd story, 2nd story, carrying people down, just picking them up because we do have a lot of wheelchair people in here.
Workers were able to evacuate all of the residents safely before it went up in flames.
Please prioritize your safety as well as the well-being of those around you.
Over 1,000.
All right, sounds like we lost Alex there, but that was Alex Stone reporting live from Pasadena. And Los Angeles fire departments were forced to reach out to off-duty firefighters from other areas asking for help to battle these fires. And ahead in our next half hour, ABC 10's Candice Red explains how Sacramento firefighters are helping in the firefight in Southern California. That's coming up at 11:30. And for more on the fires happening in the Los Angeles area, head over to our ABC 10 Plus app. We'll be tracking it all day long with live coverage, updates, weather, and more. By the way, ABC 10 Plus is free to download wherever you stream. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the damage from the Eaton fire this morning. Carly, it's just devastating. We've been seeing photos. I know you and I both know people. I'm sure lots of people have connections in the Southern California area and LA, and just seeing these images coming in, it's just devastating. So it's a reminder to people, reach out to friends or family who are in the LA area.
Definitely what we're seeing here is a lot of friends, people we know in that area, but a lot of that community up against brush, wild, really forested areas where we see a lot of wildlife as well. But what we're really tracking here is, of course, the strong wind gusts. So it's always a how did this fire start kind of situation, and that's a big question. But when we get a lot of the strong wind gusts that are incorporated, we tend to often see a lot of power lines shaken up as well, and sometimes they can blow. We don't know the cause of any of these fires at this moment, but we know once those winds hit, any fire that sparks could be a wildfire start instantly. And what we've seen so far here is the Palisades. When that kicked off yesterday, we saw a lot of brush first getting hit on that mountainside and then rolling down the hill. And that's because we're looking at an easterly wind that is pushing that fire down slope. That Palisades fire, almost 3,000 acres now. Now, the Pasadena fire breaking out yesterday night, well, we're seeing that one growing to about 2,200 acres. Also knowing people who live there saying they were forced to evacuate instantly as well. Mandatory evacuations. Luckily, some people there are a little bit more fortunate, of course, than the Palisades folks. Even downtown areas of Palisades is destroyed at this moment. We're now tracking the Hurst fire that is approaching I-5. That's off the 210 freeway, and a lot of people looking to evacuate that region. Now, the next one, I should say, that started this morning, the Woodley fire, as of 6:15 a.m. is only 30 acres, but pretty much in the center there of the city. So a lot of these fires taking off with strong wind gusts, and it's not going to be really until we start getting to tomorrow night we should see things starting to slow down. This is a massive area of Southern California that's currently under high wind, as we are starting to see significant fire potential down there. We'll bring you the latest and more updates coming up in this show.
And we're continuing to track those 4 major wildfires burning in Los Angeles this morning. So far, at least 2 people have died. Several have been injured as over 70,000 people rushed to evacuate. And today, LA firefighters continue battling not just the flames, but the wind as well, forcing them to call in reinforcements. ABC 10's Candace Red tells us how local crews are lending a helping hand.
CAL FIRE is working to put out at least 3 wildfires in Southern California. Right now, we are standing right in front of the CAL FIRE McClellan Air Tanker Base in Sacramento County. This is where CAL FIRE deploys air tankers and load up planes with fire retardant to fight fires across our state. Right now, the biggest fire is the Palisades fire. With crews from Northern California are helping out in the firefight. They plan on staying in SoCal as long as needed. And CAL FIRE told us 45 additional fire engines and 6 hand crews went to SoCal. But that includes crews and resources from Amador, El Dorado, the Nevada Yuba Placer Unit, and Butte counties. And crews from the Sacramento Fire Department and Sacramento Metro Fire District are helping out too.
We're going to send resources down to help those folks. We've got homes burning and we've got evacuations that are taking place right now. They need resources and we're going to send them to them. We know in the summer they're going to send their resources right up here to help our community locally as well. So this is part of the master mutual aid system. This is something that we operate every single year and have the ability to operate within any hour of the day.
While in Southern California, firefighters from NorCal will be doing everything they can to put out the flames. At this point, CAL FIRE said wildfire is a year-round threat statewide. And fire officials said they want everyone to be prepared no matter your region or zip code. That means even here in Sacramento County, you need to make sure that you are fire ready. That means having an evacuation plan in place. Make sure everyone knows it at your home and practice it. You also want to be sure to have a go bag ready to go. In Sacramento County, Candace Red, ABC 10.
Yeah, good advice there, Candace. Always good to have a go bag ready no matter what. And new at 11, we are learning Stockton and Modesto are also sending firefighters to help out in Los Angeles County. This morning, a Stockton Fire Battalion chief told us, quote, "We staffed our OES engine with 4 members and sent them down last night around 7:30, along with several other OES engines from the county," end quote. Modesto says they're also sending a chief and captain to help with the Palisades fire. And President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris both putting out statements in response to the fires. The president says in part in a post on X, quote, "I have offered any federal assistance that is needed to help suppress the terrible Pacific Palisades fire." We also heard from President Biden getting briefed in the Santa Monica area not long ago. Vice President Kamala Harris also released a statement saying in part, quote, "As a proud daughter of California, I know the damage that wildfires have on our neighbors and communities. I also know that the impact is often felt long after the fire is contained," end quote. And before those fires even broke out, the federal government announcing millions of dollars in disaster recovery funds that would be coming to California. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development says those funds will total roughly $500 million.
Whether a disaster was caused by flooding, tornadoes, fires, volcanic eruption, extreme heat, everything else, the people whose lives were turned upside down want the same thing. They want to be able to get back in their homes, get back to work, have their infrastructure working, and to feel safe.
And HUD officials say they plan to work with the incoming Trump administration to ensure all Californians have access to the resources that they deserve. And again, here's a look at what we know about those fires this morning. There are now 4 wildfires to track in Los Angeles County. Those are Palisades, Eaton, and Hurst fires, as well as the new Woodley fire. The Eaton fire has now exploded to over 10,000 acres. Firefighters are anticipating another tough day trying to get them under control. We know at least 70,000 people are under evacuation orders this morning, and federal assistance has already been secured for these fires. Governor Newsom says over 1,400 firefighters from all across the state have been sent to the front lines to help out. And of course, we will continue to keep you updated on these fires throughout our show. We'll also have updates on our website, abc10.com. And for more on the Los Angeles area wildfires, head over to our ABC 10 Plus streaming app. It's free to download wherever you stream. So let's take a look now. We've been talking about those 4 fires in the Los Angeles County area. Here's a look at the damage from the Eaton fire. Just devastating. Carly, I know you and I have both been in contact with people that we know, family and friends in this, in the Los Angeles area, sending us just these horrible images of what's going on there. It's smoke filling the air.
And it's the scared factor for these people that really make it so human. It's them seeing and filming all that fire and smoke coming up on that hillside near their homes.
Terrifying.
And, they're saying, I'm just grabbing and going. And I think that's the right decision. A lot of people try to wait to the last minute. Even when they're getting an evacuation warning, they're waiting sometimes until it's mandatory. And, that's when you get stuck. That's when you leave your cars abandoned, and that's when it gets scary. So,
yeah, and like Candace said, too, having a go bag, too, just no matter what, to be prepared for the worst.
Definitely. And what we're seeing out there with all the fires, of course, is that strong wind. That's going to continue to move down slope for them in the next 24 to still 36 hours. And of course, we're tracking the biggest fires here, the Palisades fire. That's also moved its way into portions of Malibu already, destroying downtown areas and hundreds of homes, I should say. But as we look toward Altadena, the Eaton fire breaking out yesterday has also been a big one for a lot of people trying to save their homes there. Now we are tracking also, of course, near Santa Clarita. Now, a lot of people have had plans to go up and down I-5 and wondering whether or not you can do so. Right now, I-5 is open. The 210, though, freeway that also moves through that region is starting to see some delays, some halts, and some closures. Now, what we can expect near the Woodley fire, that's pretty much in the central area of Los Angeles near Van Nuys. That's 30 acres. As of this morning, that one breaking out, and unfortunately, the strong winds will continue again even through tomorrow. So that's a big concern for us here. A red flag warning is in effect until 6 p.m., but we're still looking at a high wind warning that'll be in effect through tomorrow night. And you see the red areas here for the red flag warning for fire danger. And even if that expires, we're still going to be dealing with very strong wind gusts that are pushing through that region. So anything that sparks moves quickly, and a lot of things can spark, as we know, with the strong winds, whether it's a branch that hits a power line, whether it's really anything that happens with your car, lawn mowers going across grass. So wildfires, why do they happen? We know why, of course, but why are they happening in urban cities has been the bigger question. We thought we'd be prepared, we'd be fine. We're in a city, right? We're not in the open forest land, but unfortunately we have a lot of dry vegetation, a lot of plants within these areas, and it's a lot of mountain ranges. A lot of people know Mulholland Drive. We're famous for the Hollywood sign, things like that. That is all embedded in Los Angeles. It's very dry. There's low humidity, and of course, the wind, the driving factor of it all here. Now, for a fire to start, of course, you need that heat source, whether it is a power line, whether it is just a spark off a vehicle. The fuel for that fire, of course, is that vegetation there, and we have a lot of oxygen with the wind moving quickly through there, through the brush, the grasses, the trees. It's just excellent fuel for the fires. And once they start moving, of course, we've seen the palm trees there move in the wind, and they are just scattering all of these flames, all the small little sparks that can move as much as even a mile down the road. Now, as we, of course, have been watching and tracking all of this moving, the fire is growing very quickly with the wind, just catching anything on quickly as it starts moving through a lot of that brush and grass. We have just been watching it completely take down neighborhoods. Now, of course, you need to just make sure you're prepared to evacuate when things like this happen. Listen to the emergency channels, know the status of the fire, and of course, have those emergency supplies. I know this isn't happening here. It's happening to our friends in Los Angeles, but this definitely has happened here and definitely can happen still, even into our winter months. Now, lighter winds are expected for Northern California just in the next couple of days, but gusty winds are coming this weekend. We do have windy conditions, and as we see the high shift, another low will move in its place as we start moving into next weekend. We're starting to see this happening, a trough beginning to build in the Great Basin, pushing winds once again into our area for the weekend. Won't necessarily be quite as gusty as we saw just yesterday, but definitely gusty winds are expected, upwards of anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour. 3-day forecast, low 60s are expected through our week. Sunny skies, dry conditions, of course, very windy for our weekend. Overnight lows in those upper 30s.
All right, Carly, thank you.